All right, good morning. It's a great day in America. So thank you for tuning in to episode 7. I haven't really come up with a title for it. Maybe I'll call it Making Your To-Do List because as I'm getting started, it's very early in the morning on Monday, January 17th here in Houston, Texas. And so one of the things I wanted to share with you is just the importance of making lists. And of course, there's a lot of folks that do that already, but I just wanted to kind of share my approach. Over the years, I'd buy, a whole stack of these yellow pads. You can use a white pad, you can use an index card, but basically I found that these pads are very useful. So I'll leave these kind of lying around either in my automobile or on my desk or around the house. And basically as I'm going to go get groceries, or I'm making my to-do list at the gym, or I'm making my list for the day, I just found that it's a good habit to write it down. Now I'm also doing that digitally in my Outlook. So that being said, it was kind of exciting because my daughter we just had her move back to A&M for the next semester, and she actually picked up some of the pads and started writing her own notes for her things to make sure she took with her as we set her back up in the dorm. And then also as we were getting groceries and supplies for her dorm, she made a list for me to make sure I got all the stuff that she wanted. So this morning they got me to thinking like, hey baby, I think you as you're getting your school supplies, maybe you need to buy a supply of these little tablets and just make that a daily habit. So that being said, I made a list even for my video today just to remind me of some of the things that I want to make sure I cover. So importance of list, again, I'm doing it digitally now in Outlook as well. And earlier video, episode 1, I had talked about my index system for time allocation. And what I'm finding is that's just maybe a little bit more encumbersome that I want to do. So I've decided just to do it digitally. It's really easy for me to adjust my schedule on Outlook and just move it in the 15-minute increments as opposed to keeping up with the cards. But it could still be a backup system. So I haven't really kind of explored if I'm going to continue the index system. But for now, in my Outlook, I'm allocating my 15 minutes of preparation for the day. Right now, it's still early morning. So for example, this morning, got up, had my coffee, had my breakfast, read my Bible, did my prayer, did my 30 minutes of reading, and now I'm going to spend about an hour on my company doing some things that are important for 2022 going and beyond. So that moves me to my next topic. I'm part of the Network in Action Veterans Business Force with Kathy Bowersox here in Houston, and we've been in operation now for about a year, rallying veteran business owners to come together to be a mutual aid and to be a mutual service to our community. You have these guys that have resources, and so they definitely want to be successful in their business. And so one of the exercises that we had on Tuesday was to make our 1-year, 3-year, 5-year, and 10-year plan. So it's actually a proven format that she gave us to kind of go through that process. And over the weekend, that's kind of what I did. Although in my circle, I'm saying that we probably have about 1 to 3 years to really get our act together so that we can be of help. I was watching a video today just regarding potential inflation that's coming just from the shipping cost. There's a guy that was, I guess he's a DoorDash driver, and I was doing some research on that community. And in fact, my eldest daughter was looking at doing that, so I wanted to make sure she had some of the latest intel so she could make money more efficiently and be safe, because there's some best practices you can adopt from every industry, right? But one of the concerns he had is he's got a startup business for a tennis shoe company, and he was just basically getting some product from China that he had made for his shoe line. I think he said he was getting a half a container, and ultimately what was a sticker shock and the purpose of his video was to announce that basically his shipping costs had gone from $1,700 that he paid last year to like $10,000. And so as an early indicator, he was just advising people to be alert and aware that there's going to be increased inflation, which you've got all kind of known about already, but that just pushes the urgency on getting our plan and our act together for 2022 and beyond, right? Also, on my reading list, if you go to my website, andyvaladez.com, there's a link to my Goodreads list. These are books that I've read over the years, and of course continue to read, and now making time to read more. So I'm seeing the productive needle moving forward now as I'm getting these books read. So one that I'm reading right now is called the Win Without Pitching Manifesto, and this was recommended by my mentor John Cassidy. That was in my last episode, episode 6, on selecting mentors. And so after him hearing my story, he recommended that I read this book. And really, it's a great primer for those of us that are in marketing or consulting business to position ourselves as the experts, kind of like a doctor and lawyer does. Diagnose the client. Enter conversations first. Don't do the pitching we a lot of times tend to do because we know so much and we want to help. But in reality, it doesn't help the client if we allow the process to be in their control per se, because we are the experts, right? So we want to make sure we understand the nature of the pain, and that only comes through conversations. And as you hear the issues, you build trust. The whole premise of know, like, and trust is at play here. But also as an expert and advisor, you can find out what the issue is, and then once you know it, you can solve it, and then the client really trusts you and really wants to do more with you because that process has been part of it from the beginning. Another book that I'm reading is by Akshay Nanavati called Fear Vana. And so I've been taking the courses with Ty Lopez and his 12 foundations. So I guess he's solved this particular subject matter of interest, of critical interest, because of the 12 foundations, right? So he included it there. And then Akshay actually talks about his time as coming from India, being kind of nerdy, getting involved in drugs and alcohol, becoming suicidal, joining the Marine Corps, and then that really kind of sharpening him up for his purpose to embrace his fear. And basically, fear is a good thing. It helps keep us alive, but it can also keep us back. And so what he is proposing is that we learn to detect and honor our fear, but also to face it. And then the more you prepare for something, like right now, I think he's going across the Antarctica, and just as a challenge to him, a purposeful struggle that he's adopted just to prove that you can face it and prepare. So he spends a lot of time preparing, so that way when he is engaged in his fears, it's no longer a fear application. But I just started this book over the weekend, so he wanted, in fact, I friended him on Facebook, and he asked me to give him a review, I guess, once the book is read. And so I'm looking forward to that. The other little thing I wanted to share with you, so my wife and I are actually embarking on reading a book together. Usually I like to read to her, because as I read to her, I'll actually learn more myself, because she has some great insights and we have some good dialogue. So I've ordered 2 books from Van Gogh, and she's been interested in his art, and I asked her over the weekend, I said, what made you interested in that? She goes, well, when I was studying art appreciation in New Orleans, and so over the years we've actually bought her some replica paintings, and we've puzzles pieces, and there's actually a coffee table book that I want to get, but I wanted to read these little short biographies one is coming in today, one's coming in tomorrow. So I'll probably give you some feedback on the life of Van Gogh, because he was a troubled soul, but he was an artist, and thankfully his sister-in-law preserved his paintings and his legacy. Otherwise we wouldn't have his art to share and talk about in these times, right? And then what I'd like to ask you to do is like and share these videos. Now, they're just impromptu. I don't have a script or anything like that. And basically, as I was thinking of, my thing to do this week was to get 1 or 2 episodes done. This is the first episode on Monday. Hopefully I'll get it out today. I don't want to bombard folks, so basically a time release, if you will, but just practical, simple applications that you can use. And again, this topic today was the to-do list, and so making a to-do list. You can keep them around the house, you can keep them digitally. I know people use Evernote and others. So basically, if you would, in the comment sections, share some of the ways that you keep track of your to-do list. I mean, one of the things, a lot of times I have these completed lists, like for the gym time, for example, this morning, I'll give you a quick thing. I've got 2 hours in the gym. As I mentioned, I schedule 2 hours every morning, and it's not a hard and fast thing. Sometimes I just I can't go to the gym today because I got to get something done, and I'll just, cancel that part of the schedule, but then I pick up 2 hours to do some work in other areas. But for the most part, I want to be consistent, at least 3 to 5 times going to the gym, if not, more, but for the most part, 3 to 5. But today I have 2 hours, so I'll spend an hour on the elliptical, which is about 600 calories, do some stretching, I'll do some ab work, work on the quads, hams, and calves, so that's lower body. And then every day I like to do tricep ropes, or at least every other day, tricep ropes and curl ropes, and then push-ups to failure. So these are the upper body muscles, the biceps and triceps you can do pretty much every day, as well as the push-ups, right, and sit-ups, that kind of thing, abs. So again, closing out, like and share. Thank you so much for watching. watching. Hope you have a great week, and keep in touch. You can reach me at Andy@AndyValadez.com. Again, that's Andy@AndyValadez.com. You can text or call me at 713-560-3348. Again, 713-560-3348. My company is Marketing Dynamics. I'm a marketing strategist, and we'll get into marketing and business development. But right now, I'm kind of laying the foundation for this channel, and hopefully you'll find the content of value to you, which I'm getting some great feedback from my friends that are early adopters and who are early followers of this channel. And thank you so much for watching. Take care.